Okay, so today we'll quickly finish, okay, wrap up this aggregation part. So any questions on multiple fact tables? Okay, so this multiple fact table design, okay, when you have two fact tables, so we know that it will create some technical challenges when you are joining them directly. So we have to make these queries to run independently, separately. Okay, and then you can combine, put the data together. So you have just to ensure that whatever you are creating, whatever tables you are modeling, these tables, means the two fact tables always should be looking similar to this. So this one fact table, this one fact table. So and to create any report from multiple fact tables, so we should have a confirmed dimension. So your confirmed dimension should have a join with this table and also with this table, then you will get the data from that. Now, okay, today we'll see a new different topic, okay, which is something new, which is called aggregation. So most of the times, okay, whenever you have big fact tables, so now we have data like this. Already we have the data, we have the reports and everything is fine here. So now I am trying to generate some reports. So you take any general method. So now I am planning to take, okay, how many number of customers are, how many number of units sold out in every brand. Okay, or in every product, how many number of units sold out. So this is a sum of units, number of units, and from the product table, I am selecting product description and then trying to choose how many number of quantities sold out in every product. Okay, this is the info. So now from which tables this information will come? Right now, whatever tables we have, revenue and product. So these tables will get joined. So it is, we will get the data fine. Okay, but right now assume that these two tables having the fact table is having very big. Okay, so assume that the fact table right now is very 1 terabyte. Okay, and to get the data from these two tables, so revenue is a fact table and the product is a dimension table. We get the data, but because of revenue table is very big, the query is taking 15 minutes time. Means when you click internet browser and then if you get some response after, people will not bear even after for 10 seconds also. Okay, will be feeling very bad. In the report also, whenever a CEO trying to see data from a report and then trying to view it, if it is taking 15 minutes time, so you cannot spend that much, you cannot wait that much. I want this information to become very quickly. But the problem is the table is very huge. It is having almost 1 terabyte size fact table is 1 terabyte, so dimension is having some number, okay, then if you join and your query is taking too much time. So what is the solution? So since your CEO is asking this information to see very quickly, okay, so what I can do, I can try to create some pre-calculated information. What he is looking in every product, okay, how many number of units are there, so that I can calculate and make it ready. So how can I calculate? So rather than you calculating, executing this query in the runtime, okay, so I am writing one simple, I am making this calculation ready by this way. Yeah, one more call. You can take any of the other columns also as well. I'll select revenue also. So here I am calculating, okay, in every product how many number of units sold out and what is the total revenue. So this information I am putting into a different table. So what I am doing, so generally this activity will be done by mostly ETL side, or you can also do from OBIEE side also, okay. But I am creating it, assume that we have created one ODA or Informatica mapping, and I have calculated this and kept this information into this table. So this table is called aggregate table. Why? Because I have calculated. So how many number of records we have in this table? 20. Okay. And now same information I can also get from this table also. But anyway, it is already there. So if you are taking this data directly from this table, okay, so we have, let's assume that this table size is 1 terabyte. And when you execute this query, you will get the data, but it is taking 15 minutes time. Why? It is going and querying 1 terabyte size table, and then your output is coming from there. Okay, but you finally get the data 15 minutes. But I have already calculated in every product what is the total units sold out, and then kept into another table. Okay, and that table name is this. But if I query this table, how many records we have here? 20. So generally it will be in a 1 MB or 2 MB, because what is that I am doing? There is one product might have been sold by 100 million times. For last 10 years you have been selling. So one product in this table, people how many times it is purchased, so those many times it will present over there. But since I am trying to calculate, okay, for every product what is the total quantity I am calculating and keeping here, so you will have one record for one product in this table. For example, you have a student, 6 subjects are there. If I am storing individual subject wise, I will keep all individual subjects, and but I don't have a grand total. So every time I have to calculate it. So calculate, and I'm telling that what is the total. But if I keep for this student, this is the grand total. Keep it at readily available. Make it separately. If anybody asking, you can go and say this is the grand total. So this table is like detailed information is there. Whenever you want, you will go and calculate at that time and give it. But now this table is aggregate table, means you have already calculated whatever information you are looking and then kept it ready. So because of that, okay, you will have only very few records. Example, you have a student, if I am keeping subject wise individual data, 6 records I will keep, but grand total 1 record only. So here also same thing. So which is the best table to get what product wise, what is the total quantity sold out? Which table will give you information very fast? Aggregate table. Okay, and this will also give the data, but it is takes time because it will query, it will run time, it will go to the scan 1 terabyte size and then calculate and then review. But you are already calculated and kept it ready, so it will be very faster. So this is all tables will be readily available for you. But what is the challenge in the OBIEE is, so now I already have a revenue table. So now this I am planning to bring aggregate table also. So now I have two tables, the revenue and then aggregate table. Both will give me total units sold out product wise. But what is the best table to get this data? Aggregate table. So revenue also will give, but it will take time. So, but what information we have in aggregate table? Only product wise total quantity. So now there is another person asking region wise total quantity. How many tables? So we have two tables, right? Region wise means customer wise. Let's say office wise. What are the tables I can use right now? I have two tables, okay, fact table and aggregate table. Product wise, I can get the data from this table, also from this table, but which is best? This is the best. But now I am asking region wise or office wise, what is the total quantity sold out? So from which table I can get the data? Aggregate or fact table? Aggregate. What are the columns we have in the aggregate? Product. But what I am looking? Office wise. So can we get that office wise quantity sold out from the aggregate table? Okay, in every product, what is the total units and revenue is only that I am keeping, but I have not kept office wise or region wise, I have not kept it. So can we get from now out of these two tables, which table will give me that information? Okay, your fact table only. Okay, your aggregate table this time cannot give you data because I have not kept it, because for some purpose only I created. For only product purpose I created, but customer purpose I have not created it. That's why you will not get any data. Okay, now so whenever you have a fact and aggregate table scenario, how do you model? Okay, now we are going to see right now. Okay, so now I am looking office revenue table as usual. I am product taking as usual. Office I am taking as usual. Date I am taking. Customers I am taking. So first I am finishing a basic model. This we know, right? Okay, it will give you all the information, product wise, office wise, branch, anything you select you will get, because we have in the fact table we have a relation to all the dimensions, you can go and get it. So this is very basic. Now generally after this what we'll do, we'll create some hierarchies. Okay, so now I am going to create a hierarchy in a product table. So I believe you remember this one. So what is the highest one? Brand, brand, LOB, type and description. So I can create all the hierarchies like this, okay, for every dimension. That is also, it is nothing great so far here. Okay, and this will be our model. So now I can use this subject area and I can generate reports custom brand wise or office wise, branch wise, any total quantities if you want you can get it. But now I am having some challenge. Whenever I select data, okay, there is a manager is complaining that whenever I am selecting data product wise, what is the total quantity, it is taking too much time. Okay, so I want that information to come very quickly. So now what I have done, so he is asking what is the complaint behavior product wise. He is asking me product wise only. So there are other people, so they might be having a problem or not having problem, I don't mind. But the problem which I am addressing here is product wise data is not coming fast. Okay, he is very important person. Okay, so I have created one aggregate table which contains only product wise data. So whenever I want product, if you go and get it from this table, your information will come very quickly because we are calculated and kept it ready. So now this table is already there, I have imported, but how do you model this aggregate table here? So now we have revenue table is there and also aggregate table is there. So aggregate table also comes under fact category only. Okay. So always whenever you are designing aggregate table, so this aggregate table again should never join with fact table, any other fact table. Okay, strictly should not join with any fact table. So but what else it can join, like it how previously two fact tables are joining to confirm dimension. The fact aggregate table also should join with the dimension tables, not with the fact tables. So what is the dimension right now? I can join products. So always you join aggregate table with the dimension tables only. So product key we have, okay, 1, 2, many, done. This is also we have done in the previous. Then the big question is, so this is all very, so always remember fact tables will be joining with the dimensions only. Okay, done. Now the big question is how to add this table to here. So far how many ways we know? Add it outside. But people will have confusion. I have a total units in this table and also in this table. When to select and when to select. Who can select this? Who can select this? We'll have a confusion. Say for example, if I add it outside, okay, and I will have a confusion. There are 2 units, 2 revenues. What is this? What is this? I don't know. Nobody can understand. Okay. So these units, if I select along with the office, it will not give you data. If these units, if I select along with the product, it will give you data. So a lot of mismatch. That is the reason always aggregate table has to be added to revenue table, fact table, to parent fact table as a separate LTS. Yesterday's method. So where I am trying, I am taking this and then releasing onto this, so that you will see 2 tables here. It is similar to 2 fact table design. So now it is done. Okay, so it is equivalent to our previous fact table designing only. But it is something slightly different. What is different is fact tables, 2 fact tables data, one fact table contains different information, another fact table contains different information. Previously what? One fact table contains HR data, one fact table contains revenue data, so we are combining it. But what is this situation here? Both are having same information. So it is not something different. This is also having units information. This is also having the units information product wise. Both are having same information. It is very, very different from the previous. Previous also 2 LTSs are there, but one fact table is a HR data, one fact table is this data. Different information we are putting together. But here both are LTSs only, but the difference is the aggregate table, what is the information you have, in the revenue table what is the information you have, both are same actually. The only thing is whenever somebody looking the data product wise, I want to go to the aggregate table, get the data from the aggregate table, so that in 1 second you will see the data. In case if anybody asking office wise or date wise, year wise or region wise, sub-region wise, XYZ, anything. If you are looking data, I can get only data from the fact table only, because fact table contains all the information. Aggregate contains only product wise data only. So now it is a big confusion. When to go for fact table and when to go for detailed aggregate table, we know, but OBIEE doesn't know. Because I know that, because we created in our brain, we know. But how OBIEE knows that this is the aggregate table and this is the, both are table for OBIEE. But how will we know, how it does know that? So this is the aggregate table and this is the fact table. It doesn't know. That's why, especially if there are both are fact and aggregate tables. So what we need to do extra is, for every table, right now aggregate table is there, detailed fact table is there. If you notice, do you see any extra columns here? Previously when I see the model yesterday, I have some FTE column, I have some revenue column. FTE column comes from where? One fact table, and revenue comes from different fact table, and we are able to combine by splitting the queries. But if you see here in this case, revenue, so I have only units and revenue. So these units comes from the aggregate table. This revenue also comes from the, unit comes from both aggregate fact, revenue also comes from both. How can I prove that is, when I double click this, it shows that units, remaining all columns are there, but they are not coming from the aggregate table. There are only 3 columns in the aggregate, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So units can come from the revenue, and this will also can come from revenue. This also can come from aggregate revenue. But if you go and see this one, all are coming from this. So here there is a overlap. What is the overlap? Units column pointing to revenue and aggregate, and the same way revenue column also pointing to both. There is a big difference. Okay, what is the difference here is, FTE comes from the different fact table, this will come a different fact table. So there is no overlap here, but here we have a overlap. Units can come from both tables, revenue can come from both tables. But only the big question is, which time should I select data from aggregate table, which time should I select data from the fact table? That is the confusion. So now I have same columns, fine, I am putting the aggregation. Still we are not given a solution. We have a problem. We have designed everything fine. So I have only revenue, I have a units. Okay, to tell that, to indicate that who is a fact and who is, we have a different concept called context. Okay, so go to aggregate table, and you see content here. There is one tab here by name content. We have to tell that this is the aggregate table. This table contains what type of data or what level of the data. So aggregate table contains what dimensional data? Product data only. Okay, so I am going to content and selecting this aggregate table contains only data at the product. So we have already created a hierarchy. Okay, in the hierarchy, this contains data from the product level, product description level. Okay, so I am defining a content saying that this aggregate table contains data only product. By default, for any table, there will not be any values selected here. It means that it is a public. Public means this way. This table can join with the product, can join with the customer. What are the all dimensions you have? So this table can join with all the other dimensions. If you don't select anything, it by default understood that this table can join with all the tables, all the dimension tables. But when you select explicitly some options values here, you are giving a meaning to OBIEE that this table can only join with the product. Okay, I am selecting this table can only join with the product. At the same time, I am going to aggregate the detailed fact. I am leaving everything blank, so I have not selected anything here. It means that fact table can join with all the other dimensions. Because if I give again, if I by mistake, if I select product, So you are giving a meaning that the fact table can only join with the product only. So I am not doing it. Okay. So now two key clues we have given to OBIEE that aggregate table can only join with the product table. Fact table can join with all the dimensions. So looking at this, a table which can join with more tables, that is actually the detailed table, big table. A table which can join with only one table, that is a smaller table actually. That is a fundamentally right. Okay. So now we are done. So now what I am doing, I am just, since we already have this folder dragged into subject area BMM layer, sorry, presentation layer. So just to bring that information, I am dragging again. So now I am selecting, first see every brand, what is the total. So now this information, tell me how many tables I can get it. Okay, brand and revenue, two columns I have selected, and revenue is there in how many tables? Revenue column is there in how many tables? Two tables. What are those? Aggregate and fact. And what is the other information I am looking? Brand. So brand is there in which table? Product. So now can we join product with aggregate table? Yes, we have a product column. Can we join product with the revenue table? Yes. Means technically possible. But which is the best one to get the data? Revenue and aggregate. Fact table or aggregate table? No, fact, product is here. Fact table is here, aggregate is there. And I am looking product wise, what is the total units? Aggregate or which one is best? Fast we will get it. Aggregate, because we have calculated product wise already, and then if I join these two or if I get it from the aggregate, always that is a faster. So now in this case, we have selected one column revenue and brand. When I come here, revenue only, right? So this revenue, when I come here, it will show me that revenue column can come from aggregate table. It is pointing to aggregate. Revenue also pointing to fact table. So now a confusion, OBIEE. Should I go and select it from the fact or select it from the aggregate? Other side, what column I have selected? Product. So product, when I go and see, product can also join with aggregate, product can also join with detail. So now we'll go and see which one it is picked up. So we didn't tell anything. Okay, so what is the table picked up? Aggregate table only. I am a user. I will not feel any difference from where it is coming. I'll just go and select only. Internally in OBIEE, we are handling such a way that it will get the data from the aggregate table only. So do I feel anything like aggregate or a fact table here? User will not feel any difference when selecting the column. You blindly go and select what you want. But internally, we are taking care that this data you are selecting from product. So aggregate table can only join with one table, but detailed fact table can join with a number of tables. So that way, aggregate is a smaller one, detail is a bigger one. So whenever there is a possibility, I can get data from bigger and smaller. Which is the best one? Smaller is the best one. So that's why OBIEE will have an intelligence to point a query only to smaller, means that aggregate tables. Okay, fine. Now I am going and creating one more report. This time a different person. He will not feel any difference aggregate or anything. I am selecting revenue again, but this time I am going to now revenue column can come from how many tables? 2, aggregate and fact. What is the other column selecting? Company. It will go here. So this can come from 2, but you are asking for company. Then it will, if you see here, aggregate table having only friendship with the product. It doesn't have a friendship with others. So immediately it will cancel this table here. And it will go and check here. So this table has friendship with everyone. So it can go and then it may be slow right now because it is a big one. But we are not created any aggregate table, aggregated information for office. I am still okay. If you need a aggregate for the office also, you can create one more and tell that okay, this table is only with office. So what I am doing for product in the same way I can do for that. Okay. So now it will work this way, but we'll see that whether it is working expectedly or not. What is the column? What are the tables selected? We didn't tell anything. Okay. So we have designed something, and what is important, user should not confuse here. We are not making him any confused. I will go and select revenue. Somebody will select brand wise, somebody will select office wise. He will not feel any problem or a pain here, but we are taking care that automatically queries will be tuned or pointed to different okay, based on his selection. That is called aggregate navigation. We are navigating our tables from different tables to different. Okay, so here when I choose brand wise revenue, this can come from both tables, possibility of 2 tables getting the data, but in the content, by looking at the content, so who is going to play key role here? Content. Whenever you are talking about the aggregate, content is must. Based on the content, it will understand which table has friendship or compatibility. So now this guy having all our friends, so you can go to coffee or a shop with anybody. So revenue table is having friendship with everyone. So revenue can pitch in, okay, along with any other table combination. But this guy having only friendship with this guy only. So you can go to coffee only with this person only. Whenever this guy is going to coffee, then only he will come. In remaining all the scenarios, he is not going. So aggregate table having only friendship with only one table. How OBIEE will know? That information we have given here. So this information means aggregate table having only good relationship with only product. Means this can only come at this moment. But this table have friendship with everyone, so it can come anytime. Now, there is a situation. So this guy is going for coffee, but this guy is having friendship with this guy because he is a public friendship, and this guy also having friendship with this guy. So now he has to take a decision, should I go with him or with him? So if you compare it with aggregate table, is a fact table, is a aggregate table. Which one you have to prefer? Aggregate. So how OBIEE knows that which is aggregate, smaller, and which is a bigger one? A table which is having less number of friendship is a smaller one. A table which is having more number of friendship is a bigger one. So that is technical. So if I want to keep, if I keep adding more columns into table, the table size will be growing. Okay, that's why a table which is having small friendships is small table. Okay, big aggregate table. Having friendship with more is a detailed one. So based on that, if there is a conflict, so now this guy is coming. First we add a conflict here. Revenue and band. Revenue can come aggregate table and so fact table because you are looking brand. Product can join with aggregate, product can also join with fact table. Means I can bring all. But which one it has considered aggregate only because aggregate table having friendship with one compared to the revenue. So it will prefer, it has given a preference to the aggregate table. But second case, company revenue. So revenue can come from both. But at the same time, who is coming along other side? Office. So office doesn't have a friendship with aggregate. So immediately cancel it. So there is only one option left. It will go with that. Okay. So that way, the concept is called aggregate navigation. And whenever you have, user should not feel any. He doesn't know from where is coming, but output will get it. So that will be very faster. So that is called aggregate navigation. Yeah. Yes. Because typically, right, aggregate means if you are keep granular device, a table which is having less number of granular, that will be smaller, shrink. It will get shrink to the smaller one. If I want to include customers, office, everything, that size will go, granularity will be increased. So that way become. Yeah, it will not. It will go to the, it doesn't know. Okay, both, it will say both. Okay, and whatever is there, it will take from the first table only. There is no guarantee which one comes. So that engine, parsing engine internally, so whichever points it will get it. So no consistency on that one. Okay, so this is the aggregated navigation concept. Okay, and mostly this is the end of your modeling point, table designing. Okay, so just practice well. I'll stop it for today, and from tomorrow onwards we'll get into the different topics. Okay, all are independent topics. That will not be very tough. The only last 4 classes is a bit confusing, and that is the life of the RPD. So remaining all. So tomorrow we'll start variables and security. We'll continue that. Tomorrow 15th I will have it, and we'll have a very lengthy class tomorrow, and also any problems and having lengthy classes tomorrow. Lengthy means minimum will have 4-5 hours. So yeah, we'll for every 45 minutes we'll take a break. We'll go very slowly and take a break and then continue. Because we are we are running behind the schedule, so we'll try to catch up. But whatever it is, we have spent a lot of time, but I want to understand how much you are comfortable on the topics. Are you following or any confusing? We'll start same time. Oh, for these guys are very tough. Now these guys sits in US, they don't have holiday. So we have a holiday, I'm just thinking. I think you can join 1 hour. Yeah, that 8:30 or 8:45 can. Yeah, 8:45 we can start. 8:30 by the time ODI will not finish. At least we can start 8:45. But I can share you videos, no problem. Those topics will be independent, so you can have a IST. I think only one day maybe you'll have a sleepless.